It's like you're playing Monopoly with somebody who, won't pass go and won't follow any of the rules. And how do you ever make any progress if they're not following the rules?
Well, you got to send them to jail, There's that little box
directly to jail.
Go directly to jail.
Throwing your opponent in jail doesn't appear to be an effective political strategy because Biden's losing to Trump across the board. Trump's beating Biden in every single battleground and beating him nationally. A Republican hasn't had leads like this in decades. Biden's approval ratings at 39%, the lowest ever at this stage, and his base is leaving faster than Gutfeld when the check comes. Blacks, Hispanics, Muslims, young Americans, the floor is falling out. Inflation, crime, migration, 2 proxy wars in a country done with DEI. The left realizes a once-in-a-100-year pandemic isn't going to save them. Musk also bought Twitter, so the feds aren't fully armed. But there's a lot of cash the Democrats have floating around, and the propaganda already at full throttle.
Or you want somebody who says, I'm going to be on day one, I'm going to be a dictator. Who says it to you, tells you, I'm going to put you people away. I'm going to take all the journalists, I'm going to take all the gay folks, I'm going to move you all around and disappear you. If that's the country you want, you know who to vote for.
So they're taking the dictator on day one joke seriously. Okay? Trump didn't kill the gays the first time. They're saying he was saving it for the second term. And if there was ever an opportunity to take out Acosta, you'd think he would have done that already. The president who didn't start a single war, they say is going to start a civil one. And the left, who's been battling Christianity for decades, suddenly found God. He's not Joe Biden. You can't worship someone who's asleep. Trump is the Antichrist.
I think President Biden historically has been a lack of a better word, elected official. But, Donald Trump is the end of democracy as we know it.
So you'd vote for Biden again?
I'm not saying either or. You've heard it so much because every time, there's a Republican candidate, people say, oh, it's the end of democracy. He's the, people go so far as to say, oh, he's the Antichrist. But this is one of those times where, it really actually positively is true.
The guy thinks the election's between Joe Biden and the Antichrist, and Biden still doesn't have his vote. Arresting Trump and smearing him this violently, this early, is designed to give Biden an excuse to not debate him. The media is already planting the flag. Biden's going to get out of campaigning and debating. He'll just say, I'm not going to dignify my opponent and share the stage with a monster. And if you don't live on the coast, you're in a cult.
This election is going to be close. It's going to be very close in a place like Pennsylvania. And you're going to have rural people out there voting their craziness about the cult. So you better be there to match them. And you got to be there to vote against that. And I'm telling you, this is really important that you vote for your rights.
So tonight, Donald Trump has an opportunity at the Fox Town Hall, beginning in just a few minutes, to remind Americans who he is as a leader, a husband, and as a father. And remind them why they elected him 8 years ago.